Welcome to the stage, Stephen A. Schwarzman, Chairman and CEO and co-founder of the Blackstone Group. Masayoshi Son, Chairman and CEO. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us, and to you, Your Royal Highness, thank you so much for hosting us. We just watched a video of Neom. This is the first time we are actually hearing what Neom is. You are breaking this news right now. Please tell us your vision for this new city.
If you allow me, I will speak in Arabic, because a lot of Saudi audience here and I really respect them. لدينا في نيوم فرص تكاد أن تكون خيالية. طلب ضخم.
A Saudi market, huge market. A demand outside of Saudi Arabia, $100 billion. Exceptional capability, $500 million. A site, our location, a distinguished one between 3 continents, with crossings of maritime and naval crossings. 10% of the international trade passes through the Red Sea. A nature, fascinating nature, mountains, valleys, beaches. Big in Saudi Arabia. After all these opportunities and factors, and the land which is near to be vacant, we are looking for, traditionally, we have an opportunity to transfer to a new generation of life and cities and technologies and health services, etc. We started to work with other companies and investors and entrepreneurs, and all these thoughts are embedded and exploiting this demand to create something new and transfer the land to a new location. We have today a group of friends who work together on this project. In the previous time, we have a dream to build the biggest solar panels in the world. On the shape solar panels. Steve, SoftBank is the most important portfolios and funds in the world. He is looking for opportunities. Always, Mark he wants to come with us in the design of this project and planning it to create the robotics, and to create a demand in this. He wants the robots to be more than humans in this project. And Klaus he left all his big projects and came, and he has a belief in this cause to put his imprint on it. We have a lot of partners in this room and outside of this room working strongly with us to embody this idea. All the success factors are there to create something great, a new thing. The most important factor is the Saudi people, Saudi human power. Saudi people and Saudi human power. The people of Saudi Arabia who are living in this desert, they have many values, principles, and fundamentals, but because he lived in desert for a long time, first they have cunnings to
The second one is the great earnest that will make him resist everything and reach everything once he's convinced. Today we have a people that is convinced, working together very strongly to have Saudi Arabia reach with all of its projects and programs to new horizons in the world. So, in order to conclude, what is Neom in short? The difference that is going to happen in Neom as a zone, as a city, in Neom, is like the difference between this phone and this phone. This is what we're going to achieve in Neom.
The ocean, we know you have the money to do this and you have the resources. What kind of a reception have you received by this tremendous vision?
Many things.
Many things. When talking about resources, the location is undoubtedly has enough sunshine to create any energy that we want. Solar energy. There is wind that is considered to be the best location in the Middle East with the presence of winds. Also, we can extract 200,000 oil barrels in this location, other than gas deposits in this location. I believe that the majority have reviewed the piece of news today, and what are the 9 sectors that we concentrate on to establish the Zion and the city inside this zone. So there are many opportunities that we're working on, and we try not to work only with the dreamers. This place is not the place for conventional people or conventional companies. This is a place for dreamers that want to create something new in the world.
You will be the CEO of Neom. Give us your vision. What are you expecting this to look like within the next 5 years?
Actually, we don't know. He's a CEO.
Well, first of all, I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for the vision of the kingdom and if it weren't for the leadership that you just heard the vision. And it's not only the vision that is big, it's also the capabilities to put it in action, right? And those things are a critical essence. I tell you, my first, when I received the question, Klaus, would you be interested in it? I said, let me come over and let me take a look at the land. And I went there, and this is 26,500 square kilometers. It has 500 kilometers of beachfront. 2/3 of this is sandy beaches, islands, coral reefs. 1/3 of it is mountainous terrain, very steep drops, and all of it is untouched, beautiful. You have mountains that go up to 2,500 meters. You have a climate that's really nice. The wind blows all the time, you know? So I saw it and I thought, where on earth, you know, can this happen? And then you look at the geography and you say, I mean, 70% of all people all around the world can be here in this place in no more than 8 hours flight time, you know? So if you look at the transit routes, 10+% of all transit go through the Suez Canal. You know, you have the telecom routes going through there. You put all these things together and you say, wow. And then you start saying, well, what have we got here? I mean, the kingdom has been blessed with oil and gas. We know this. The kingdom has been blessed with the new oil and gas, which is sun. Right? And Neom has been blessed on top of it with wind. You know, so we can create something that is fully regenerative powered. Zero carbon, net zero carbon. You know, we actually think that we can export from there, and I'm sure Masa-san is going to talk more about it because he's going to help put this vision into reality now. You know, so this is very exciting. And then when you pair it with the idea of, I mean, if you think about, there's a shift. I mean, as you know, Maria, I mean, I've got 2 daughters, you know, 23 and 28, you know, and when I listen to them and their friends, you know, there's a different generation. There's a different view of how the future should look like. Sustainability plays a big role. Quality of life plays a big role, and they all want to be part of the technological revolution that's going on. So our great vision here is to bring these things together, to create a place where you can live very well, very, very well. Well in a way that's more back to where humanity came from. But you pair it with using technology to help do this and accelerating it into a future that makes the human more, has economic benefits, but puts the human in front, you know. So that's, I mean, that's inspiring to me, and as His Royal Highness said, I'm very much inclined to put my fingerprints on it, and he's helping every day on it and every night.
Your Highness, you have an incredibly beautiful country. You have the resources, but you are having radical ideas, some might say. Recently, you've announced that you will soon allow women to drive. You are allowing foreign investment in your beautiful country. Why now? What triggered this change in thinking?
First of all, I don't want to get out of this topic and discuss politics outside of the scope of today, but I'll just be very brief. Saudi Arabia was not like this prior to '79. Saudi Arabia and in the entire region, you have the awakening project spread after '79 for many reasons. Today is not the right day to discuss them. We were not like this in the past. We only want to go back to what we were, the moderate Islam that is open to the world, open to all the religions. %70% of the Saudi people are less than 30 years old, and quite frankly, we will not waste 30 years of our lives in dealing with extremist ideas. We will destroy them today. We want to live a normal life, a life that translates our moderate religion, our good customs. We coexist and live with the world and contribute to the development of our country and the world. This is something that there are steps that we have taken in the past that are clear. I believe that we will eradicate the rest of extremism very soon. So I don't think this is a real challenge, because we represent the moderate teachings and principles of Islam, and we have the right. The right is on our side and everything that we deal with. So I don't think that we are concerned.
Thank you for those important words, Your Highness. Masayoshi-san, you are investing in the Saudi Electric Company. You see opportunity here in Neom. Tell us about it.
Well, I think Neom is fantastic opportunity. Crown Prince convinced me to get involved in this project. In the beginning, I did not understand, but when I visited the location, I said, wow. And also talking about the future, we cannot create just one more new city. We have to create dramatically different next century city so that we can extend the wealth and happiness of the kingdom. And I said, we can make it happen with the high-tech technology and high touch, more human-like living in with a great technology, but with a great nature, beautiful ocean, beach, and a clean and great job. So we discussed and said, then Crown Prince said, well, Masa, if you have the vision and the wish, make it happen. Make it happen, let's make it happen together. So I said, okay, I will make a commitment. So this afternoon, we made a commitment and announced, signed MOU that we, SoftBank Vision Fund, would invest significant stake investment into Saudi Electric Corporation company, and we will make through investment into Saudi Electric company, we make it into the next generation with the new energy of the solar using the sunshine. I don't know why, but God keep on giving the gift to this kingdom, oil and sunshine and the sun. So not only we import technology or product, but actually in Neom, we are going to create from the sand into polysilicon, from polysilicon to ingot, from ingot to wafer, from wafer to the solar panel, and solar panel generate electricity. So from the sand and the sunshine, we make all of it 100% using the nature of the kingdom. And Saudi has the great Mecca. We will create 2 more Mecca.
Please don't misunderstand him. Mecca is now an example. Mecca has become an example for the point of emergence or convergence. So he is talking of a Mecca that will attract people.
الذي أقصده أعنيه أن تقنية جديدة أقصد تقنية جديدة. هذا ما عنيته بالفعل، هذا ما قصدته بالفعل. سوف نؤسس
power generation in the world, in Neom. One more thing, is the largest and most advanced robot generation in the world. So all the engineers developing technology about the solar power generation, all those engineers will come and show their technology, develop the technology together in this Neom. All the robot engineers from all over the world, they will all come and bring the new technology and create fantastic next generation robots. So as the Crown Prince said, this will be the first city on the earth, more robot than human population in the city. So therefore, I would say,
very unusual. And I would say that from being a little older than I used to be, and also going around the world, that great leaders create great outcomes. But by the same token, terrible leaders can take wonderful places and make them into a complete mess. And we get to see, those of us who go around the world, examples of both. And I'm really struck by the transformational elements in Saudi. It's really quite astonishing, which is why many of us are here today. Now, as to Neom, I was in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States last weekend because one of my nieces was getting married. And they have a river that flows through Chicago. And I had nothing to do in the afternoon, so I took the river tour, which is designed to show the architecture of Chicago. And towards the middle of the tour, they were talking about the fire of 1872, which was probably the worst fire in US history. And it burned two-thirds of the city and all the places that were important. And this was a huge tragedy. But as it worked out, it was the best thing that ever happened to Chicago, because they got a chance to start a new city. And at that time, they had new technology, much like this time in history, but what they had was the invention of the elevator. Now, those of us here take elevators for granted, but at one point, there were no elevators. So what happened in Chicago is they ended up building the tallest buildings in the world because they had the technology to do it. They used their land more efficiently, and Chicago became the second largest city in the United States with great prosperity. Now in Saudi, you have the advantage, you don't have to knock down, an obsolete city. Those of us who live in the West, call it the developed world more than just the West, we have incumbent cities, and they have enormous amounts of issues that face them. Buildings that are not at contemporary standard, difficulty in adopting technology. Those of you who travel know sometimes it's almost impossible to get around with traffic, although you have your own share here in Riyadh, I must say. But all of those problems, as well as some other new problems, which are involved personal safety and sustainability and scalability, are very difficult to make work in incumbent cities. And this is the advantage of Neom, that you can make it right like Chicago did. You can use the most modern technology. Firms like ours who have big exposures in the hotel business, you're going to need hotels. You're going to be able to use entertainment centers, which is something that we do. There'll be light industry that comes in. And I think the opportunity to create this new city and attract people from around the world, first from around the region, then from around the world, is really an enormous opportunity. And I think that anyone who's in the presence of this kind of new vision has to really be in awe of what you're attempting to do. Assurance is that it will work. So congratulations.
Your Highness, this is a very important point. And here,
there are many things that we cannot start unless we start from scratch, like whether the city is going to be a drone-friendly city. Today, there is no existing city that can use drones because they lack the infrastructure, like parkings, like the buildings need to be drone-friendly. So there are many things that will be taken care of in designing the city in transportation plans. Today, we don't know if the city will have cars or driverless cars or not cars at all. Depends on different ways of mobility. This applies to all other sectors. So there is an opportunity to plan from scratch, to build a zone, a city, starting from scratch. Like Steve mentioned, nobody will be able The third is targeting the new sectors that we would like to be pioneers in by supporting and establishing in Neom. So there are conventional sectors like entertainment, but we try to present them in Neom differently because we encourage difference in this field. And there are sectors that are unconventional like biotechnology in Neom. So we target 9 sectors. Like as I mentioned, some conventional, some new. We want to have a share of what their shape is going to be in the future, to have Neom with a good share in the future of the world.
Think of it, Maria, not just as an empty piece of land, but also think of it as an invitation to everybody who's in the tech industry. Massa said it already. I mean, there's a big announcement today. Neom is going to be the leader in solar. You know, so anybody around the world who is working in this, there's also still a lot going on technologically, will have a place, a natural place, a beautiful natural place where to come and where to cooperate with the best and brightest to make it happen, right? And think of it also as from the regulatory point of view, because we also have the liberty here to write a regulatory system for each industry that is most in tune with what they need. And we had the discussion about drone-friendly cities, right? One issue is the regulatory side, which pretty much everybody who's got an established system struggles with. And you find that in almost each one of the new technologies, because when you go to personalized medicine, how do you do tests for personalized medicine? You know, and the existing structures struggle with it. They can't come to grips. This is one of the opportunities where we will assemble the leaders in the innovation and the ones that have thought about it most and say, what is the best regulatory system that on the one hand, I mean, has high ethical standards and at the same time accelerates the speed in which we can move forward. And I think this ingredient all make what you mentioned, which I think is essential here, it's talent. And this will become a magnet for talent, a magnet for people who really want to be part of bringing a vision to reality.
So then, Your Highness, the regulation will be different.
Indeed. The project today does not have any population, so the regulations will be formed in a way that instigates and encourages the businesses. This is the first time in the world where regulations are designed by business people in order to encourage their business. So this is the first of such experience in the world that serves business people to formulate their own regulations and laws that serves them in this zone.
لذلك هذه نقطة في غاية الأهمية. ماسا منذ لحظة قلت أنه سوف يكون هناك المزيد من الروبوتكس أكثر من البشر. اشرح لنا هذا الأمر. أين سوف نرى هذا الروبوتكس؟ أقول إنه بعد 30 عاما من الآن سوف يكون سكان العالم من الآن أعتقد سوف يكون 10 مليارات روبوت على الأرض. بسبب الذي يحدث الآن هو الذي يدفع إلى وجود الروبوتس السياسة الذاتية الذكاء الاصطناعي. السيارات سوف تقود نفسها في تعريف خاص. هذا هو الروبوتس بدون طيار الذي تعامل بالروبوت. أن الروبوت الكبير والصغير كيف سيكون مع الروبوت الإنسان الأهلي سوف يكون له استخدامه. هل تعرفين أو فكرتم في 30 عاما الماضية المفروض الحاسب الآلي والسرعة الحاسب الآلي وحجم الذاكرة وحجم الاتصالات وسرعة الاتصالات شمل أكثر من 100 مليون بنك. إذا فكرتم في الروبوت الآن منذ 30 عاما من اليوم سوف يكون أكثر ذكاء ب100 مليون مرة. Become so smart, and that super intelligence goes into the robot. They can stop many jobs or things that we are struggling today. So
Because God comes to help our life better, happier, if that sin is coming anyway, why don't our country here in Saudi, in the kingdom, in Neom, take the leadership? Take the leadership of the future. We will make it happen because this is a brand new city. And also one more thing, one more industry. I said sunshine. Did you ever think only 3% of the land of Kingdom of Saudi, only 3% of land today can provide 50% of the electricity of the world? Did you ever think about that? That is a fact. With today's technology of solar, and of course we don't have to provide 50% of the electricity from Saudi to all over the world. We don't have to do that. But there is an advantage. I was amazed. Such a great sunshine and dry and the sun, that was in the past. That was the handicap, that was the difficulty. Now, suddenly it becomes an advantage. It is a beautiful advantage. And why don't we use that? I have met with many people here in the kingdom. Very smart. Very smart. Now, with a strong leadership, with a great sunshine, with a great sun, with a great location, with the brand new city, we can make it happen.
Steve Schwarzman, you have taken over companies and had to change cultures and change the way they operate. What are the risks or the challenges that we all should be aware of as Kingdom embarks on this incredibly ambitious project that you see challenges and risks?
Well, I guess there's no risk of downside if Moses is involved. I mean, he can get almost everyone in the world to come here and do things. Having him on your team is a great thing. The biggest risk of transformational projects is that they don't work. And then that sets off, sort of disappointment. That goes broader than just the project. On the other hand, success has a transformational impact, where when people see that something can be done, they believe that other things will be done. And that's the great advantage of this project. It's an advantage of this meeting, and it's an advantage of meetings on television, and everyone in the kingdom and outside the kingdom gets to hear what the objectives are. There's almost no other place in the world where people are talking about things of this type. They're not talking about anything that's integrated by way of technology. There are pieces of it. You see it on television, you see it on markets, you see it in magazines. To the extent there are even magazines left that haven't been disintermediated. And here it is. It's on display, it's integrated, and it's something that not only a country can rally around, but potentially, when this starts working and it's at scale, it is something that will have potentially a transformational impact on other parts of the world and other countries. And it could be one of the most important markers in the 21st century. This is not an everyday kind of thing that we're all part of and that all of society is part of. It's remarkably exceptional. And those kind of dreams with excellent people involved, financial resources. Klaus, who you don't know yet, you'll get to know him. He doesn't stop. He's very on top of it, effective, aggressive executive. I've known Klaus for 30 years, and we've all evolved in 30 years, but he's never changed in that. Those personal characteristics. And so they picked a very good person who has knowledge and connections all over the world, literally. You know, he can pick up the phone and get just about anybody on it. So the downside of this, the downside realistically is time. How fast do you realize you're doing? And that's something that has to be just scoped out and planned and make sure that expectations are in line with what's achievable. But in investing, you only make a good decision in my world. Everybody has a different concept of investing, I guess. This is when you're like 9 to 1 sure something's going to work. You know, why take risk? And me, I hate risk. Every entrepreneurial niche sounds like he or she's doing something risky, but we all take risk and do everything we can to get rid of it so nothing bad happens to us or our investors. But I think the right time frame here, this is like really, really interesting that it's going to happen. The only way there's something that's another outcome is if you find something so narrowly. What I also find is that not every dream I have, and most of them come true. And on this panel, and many people in this audience, particularly those of us who were guests, we're sitting here because we dreamed something, and we made it come true. It's much harder to dream wonderful dreams than it is to actually make them happen. Because you can make them happen in a lot of different ways. There's just not one route to success for anybody's life or anybody's project. You have to be adaptive. And I think you'll find a way to be adaptive here. And the dream is really amazing. So, you know, to the Crown Prince, to keep up with this dream, I'm really dazzled and in awe. And I think in that regard, you know, I just reflect the world.
But, you know, of course, translates to the opportunity, too. At least somewhere along the risk curve is a place where you really can have a big impact to succeed, even though the chances of failure might be higher. And I don't think we all, I mean, certainly the dreamers enjoy taking on the challenges that they could fail and where there's an opportunity for breakthrough. I think that the biggest risk is coming up with the tech ecosystem that will attract people. Or I think that's the hardest part. I don't think the risk is so high, but I think it's the hardest part to go from where we are today to a place where all the world's technologists want to come and work together. You know, I purposely wore my Silicon Valley shirt, which I always wear, something like this. And, you know, when I visit Silicon Valley is one of those places where, you know, everything is bottom up from entrepreneurs who have their idea and damn the torpedoes, they're going to make their idea fly, no matter what they ask. And that's what we need to do in Neom, have a culture like that. And you know, it can't be top down, it has to be bottom up and chaotic a little bit in order to succeed. So I'm looking forward to creating a little chaos to help further the dream.
And you're able to do that because of the leadership, because as this is actually setting the tone for this. What else do we want to add to that?
Yeah, well, I think I agree with everything that's been said here, and I think the biggest risk in my view is we all are going through a period of time that, in my view, the changes are so drastic that the word Industry 4.0 doesn't really give justice. I think it's so fundamental. I can compare it with the transformation from when we were all farmers when the Industrial Revolution happened. You know? So I don't know what the label is for this, what we will see in the future, but I think we have an opportunity with Neom to create it. Right? The risk there is because it is so foundational. It goes into all structures, not just technology, but also human structures. That the human nature is very often that we look for a level of precision that is a 80–90% precision, which we most likely will not have. So we will have to go into it with a flexible, clear guideline where we are going to go. Probably with a 70–80% solution, but keep the flexibility of moving while we move. Because it's a question of time, and time, I think, time advantage, and time is a very, very, very important competitive advantage. Everything else we have, in my view. Right? So it's really on us. But I know that it takes enormous courage to say, I don't know exactly how this 30% is going to work out, but we're going to go with 70%. We're going to make mistakes. I mean, that's also crystal clear. By the way, it's 26,500 square kilometers. So when we say city, it's not giving it justice. It will be multiple cities, villages. I think of it, I'm not even using personally the word city because it comes with so many garbage, you know. I'd love it to be villages, communities, you know, where people interact with each other, you know. So that's, and make tons of money. You know, tons of money in a very, very good way.
And Your Highness, this is obviously you are a visionary. And this is part of your vision and His Majesty's vision for Vision 2030. What is your expectation in terms of timing from dream to reality?
This is a challenge because it's easy to dream, but to make it a reality is very difficult. In Neom, we want to create something new. So planning something new is not there in the world today. So we're collecting all the innovators around the world and companies to create this and something new in Neom. At the same time, we know this takes time. Veteran does not have patience to wait for a long time. This is also part of the challenge. We are under pressure to deliver something new in a short time. At the same time, under pressure to give innovative ideas. We don't want to find ourselves in 15 years that we missed out on an opportunity that we could have put the initial plan of Neom. This is concerning to me, but undoubtedly this will encourage us to work, to participate with so many around the world, and in Saudi Arabia, we will pass this plan and we will overcome it. This understanding is most concerning to me now.
Masa, you tell me the story in the green room, how for 1 minute you were the richest man in the world, and then you weren't. Can you share that story?
Well, in year 2000, for 3 days, I became richer than Bill Gates. in the same year, my stock price went down 99%, and I almost broke. And it was the year 2000, internet bubble burst. So people said that the internet bubble, people are expecting too much. And so more than the reality. And then when people get disappointed, actually it went down too much below the reality. The reality was internet users kept on growing every year. There is no single year when internet technology power kept on growing. Only one direction. So, as the Prime Minister says, the people's expectation we have to manage. But when we have the right vision, when we have the right passion, when we have the right commitment, we can go one way for the success for the future. Every day we improve. With a great vision where the world is going, we have to think long term and then execute every day step by step. So we have the strong vision and passion, and we have patience, and we are the people which we have already. So we know the difficulty, but we know how to survive. I survived from the almost fall, and I went down. Now I actually get the resistance back again. So somehow I survived. And I think with the great partnership with the Southern Vision Fund, the Saudi, the kingdom, is the biggest fund, the biggest investor. And our Vision Fund is already making great progress. 22% return in 5 months. So if you analyze, it's close to my past 18 years, last 18 years, I have returned 44% every year, compound. 40%, 44%, 44% for 18 years. And I'm going to make it happen again.
And we know that Alibaba was a big part of that. Is there another Alibaba out there? Is it Neom?
Neom will be a great success. I am decided, committed, that our great leader, Crown Prince, look at the passion. I have met with many leaders of the country, of many people, last 30 years. But I haven't seen the leader with a great passion, young age, great vision, and a little bit of money. That also helps. It's a fantastic combination. I think we will succeed. I think we will succeed.
One of the points that you made earlier, Your Highness, so I couldn't. That is.
I'm one of 20 million people. I'm thinking about them. In fact, I'm the least and weakest among them. They just came and they encouraged me. I've been destruction in this country. But what is calming and comforting is that all of these 7% have great passion on the personal level and the national level, and they have the keenness and accuracy and professionalism and intelligence, high intelligence, to achieve what is impossible.
High expectations. We have high expectations for Neom. Are we expecting too much too fast?
Well, we're at a meeting that's a little like a pep rally. So maybe a little bit too fast. But I think as this project rolls out, professionals like Klaus and his team will have benchmarks that everyone agrees with. And that's the way this will be run, and it'll be paced correctly. You can never succeed in a project for which you do not have a passion and enormous enthusiasm. It's got to start with a leader and got to go down into the people who are going to be executing. And that's what meetings like this and communication are for. And I think that's That's very effective. And as long as there's a sense of order, even though things may be 70% sometimes, like Claude said, as long as there's that will be instructive for the country to learn how to be more innovative, how to take on major new things. They'll see those successes, they'll see an occasional failure. For those of us who are in this type of world, we don't want the failures, but that's what you end up learning from. You don't end up learning from your successes. I mean, that sounds, sort of a little pat, but we've all, sort of profited. I'm sure Masato was, unfortunately, a wiser person, having lost probably the 99% of his wealth. It was probably 99.6% of his wealth. And he comes back, he's not exactly the same, still optimistic, but you learn something when these don't stay exactly on track. I can look at every person in the front row. I guess it's happened to all of us. That's not a problem. It's a learning experience. One thing I leave you with is I just happened to have introduced Masato during UN Week at a big event. So I had to learn something about him. So I'm not a professional cheerleader, but I am really appreciative. So I was sitting next to him, and I said, Masato, I have to introduce you. So, why don't you tell me about your best financial success? Because everyone in this room pretty much has their own best success, but it's always fun to learn about somebody else's. So he said it was my investment in Alibaba. And Alibaba has done very well in China, and Jack was a fun guy, and he was almost bankrupt 3 times. And so I said, well, how much did you invest? He said, $100 million. Started out with Yahoo, was $20 million. And I said, so what's that worth? He said, that's worth $130 billion. Now, for those of you who aren't real good at math or have trouble with English as your first language, 20 million with an M going to 130 billion is, I believe, the greatest investment success by someone who's not working at that business in world history. So, when you dream sometimes, really good things happen. And, you've got a team of people who are engaged with this project who aren't just dreamers, they're people who make things happen. And so the only risk is the timing. The rest of it will happen.
I want to pick up on what you just said about the failure, or I don't use the word failure, but we have a system of development in our company called Build It, Break It, Fix It. And the idea is to go so quickly that you're going to have things that don't work, but you learn so much, as you said, from what happens when they don't work. It's much more effective than carefully designing and planning all the way to the end, because that process gets you there. And I think that Neom, if it's run by people who are successful people, that'll be part of the process. We don't know yet how it's going to be in 2030, but we'll put a machine in place that has the skills to learn the problems and solve them. And I don't fear that failure at all.
Yeah, this is very important.
It's a slightly different approach in a more conventional world. We try not to break them first. We buy them, and then we fix them, and then we sell them. So that may be more familiar to people in the audience, but that works too.
I want to ask you, His Highness earlier referred to biotech as one of the sectors marked, so I want to... As he brought up, $20 million turning into $150 billion in terms of your investment. Can that be done today, or have valuations gotten out of control?
Well, it's all dependent on the opportunity of the company. If you blindly invest, just because some other people also put the value, then it is a problem. But if you invest in the company with understanding of what's going to happen to that company, to that technology, 10 years later, 20 years later, it's not a problem. So you have to really understand that technology, that business model, that leader in the company, and that management and the team of the company. Then you can avoid the problem.
What areas in the global economy do you see as value right now? What areas of the global economy do you believe show value right now?
So there's growth. I would say the growth is in the artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, the smart robotics, not the traditional robot, the smart robotics, and the solar energy is also something as a great future because it has beautiful technologies growth in the cost and efficiency and so on.
And Your Highness, I almost feel like if you're not using artificial intelligence, you will get left behind.
Undoubtedly, the world is going to wait for somebody to catch up. We have to be part of making development, new development in the world. As we mentioned at the beginning, the city will be built on the newest technologies of today. The opportunity is unimaginable. A region that is almost vacant. There are many dreams from the Saudi leadership, many of the Saudis, and many our partners and of the large companies or individuals. Thousands of dreams that will be established in Neom and in the building of Neom. Everybody can imagine how the shape of the city, the zone, the infrastructure, the sectors, if you start from scratch and you deal away and forget about the conventional cities, many things could happen. This is what we're trying to create in Neom.
Understand some people looking at your ambitious plans and saying, wait a minute, what is this all about? The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia investing in solar?
We know the demand is not only energy, many of the other sectors use oil, electrochemicals, and many other sectors. We believe that the demand for energy will increase dramatically in the future. So we don't think that it will decrease the demand for oil. It will increase between 230 to 240, 2030, and it will not immediately collapse after that. So we could look at the conventional source of energy before oil, which is coal. If we look at the index for demand for oil, for coal is still on the highest peak. So the use of solar energy does not mean that it will negatively affect oil. We will present many members of the future in this regard. That's right. There's new demand for the new sector sensors and complex sectors and chemicals that will create a new demand other than the already established demand. See,
it's one advantage for the kingdom of doing Neom is that there are now no more conventional types of investments. Technology is affecting almost everything we know. At Blackstone, we have probably 120 companies we own at any point in time, and we employ somewhere within what we own 500 to 600,000 people. We're usually the second or third biggest employer in the United States. We have a whole range of companies, and there are many people who are here with us who have similar types of exposures. So this is a large company that we have. Nothing remains the same. And this is a warning to all of you who live your lives and think it's going to be the same the next day. It's changing so fast, whether it's the modes of distribution. You know, you can be in retailing and all of a sudden find your customers leaving you and you have a good merchandise because they can buy it online. They can buy your stuff online. The margin isn't big, as big. We're seeing changes in supply. It's happening everywhere. And we're sending our people, in effect, back to school so they can learn not at the expense of making an investment and it ends up going wrong because they didn't know what was going to happen to it. But even as more conventional investors, you have to learn, you have to know, or else your children won't be able to inherit businesses that you have. They'll be damaged. And so, starting a new city like this, with the most modern technology, will have benefits to everybody, one way or another, through the kingdom, either in groceries, or growing your own business, or keeping GDP growing, providing for younger people. It will not happen if you don't engage and understand the different things that are going to be affecting your life. You can't see them. I'm starting to see them. Masa lives in that world. But it's a world that's coming right at all of us. And there are big benefits, and there are dangers for not knowing and adapting.
Yeah, well, I want to make 3 points. The first is, when you mentioned that in the first statement about Neom, I also want to make sure that people understand in the kingdom that the connection to the kingdom is a very important positive for us. I mean, we just talked about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence and automation are going into every field. There are a lot of great companies here, Saudi Aramco, Demands, and a lot of private companies here that are all having to change and undergoing this. And we will make Neom the place where we will tackle those issues first. So look at this for the future. You know? So those concepts, that sound revolutionary, but in reality are only revolutionary because they come from being stuck in the past. The same thing, if you've been in the middle of this, is how certain countries are struggling with reforming the healthcare system, right? And frankly, if there's one thing that we all hold very dear because it's our own health and the health of our loved ones, the very fact that the struggle has not led to truly putting healing in the middle, health and well-being in the middle, whereas in reality the systems around the world are all built to cure disease, right? Or deadening disease. We're going to build a system and we're going to work very hard and bring the most visionary minds into create a system which will put health and healing in the middle of it. So those are opportunities where I'm absolutely excited to take them. And we all know it's not going to be easy, but those are the things where I think it's going to make it very, very livable for humans.
Your Highness, yes, final word. Yes, that's all. And we're going to
I tell them those who cannot dream should not negotiate with us, should not come to Neom. We only welcome the dreamers who want to reach to a new world. We have a partner, we're keen on working with them, we welcome a new partner in this project. I'd like to add that we have in 4 regions that are registered in the map of the world. We have Medina and the Eastern Province. Today I congratulate the people of Tabuk that it will enter the world map after the Sea and the project of Neom. I promise all the other regions that they will witness transformation like Tabuk has.
You can look at these ancient hills and see nothing. Or you can see nothing to hold you back. Neom, over 25,000 square kilometers of endless potential that will change the way we live and work forever. A place where pioneers and thinkers and doers can exchange ideas and get things done. A startup the size of a country, energy that flows from the sun and the wind, neighborhoods that can feed and clean themselves, technologies that make life everything it can be. This is where we can prepare together for the next era of human progress. Some will look at these ancient hills and see nothing, but the rest of the world will know that this is where a new way of living began. Discover Neom.